In the vast blue expanse of our planet's oceans, a remarkable creature swims, one that has shaped economies, cultures, and even the fate of entire communities. The bluefin tuna is a marvel of evolution, a powerhouse of muscle and speed, honed over millions of years to become one of the ocean's most formidable predators. But this is more than just a fish. The bluefin tuna has become a global icon, revered and pursued for centuries. Once a staple for coastal fishermen, it has transformed into a symbol of luxury, an icon of global trade, and the centerpiece of a billion-dollar industry that stretches from the Pacific to the heart of Tokyo. Its journey is an epic saga, spanning thousands of miles from the deep waters of the Pacific to the most exclusive dining tables in the world, where tradition and modernity collide. The story of this single fish is, in many ways, the story of our modern, interconnected world, a tale of human ingenuity, ancient traditions, and immense pressures placed upon our natural world. The allure of the bluefin tuna lies deep within its flesh, a treasure coveted for generations. The prized meat, particularly the fatty belly known as toro, is celebrated for its exquisite texture and rich, complex flavor, a delicacy that has inspired poetry and reverence in Japanese culture for centuries. In the Edo period, bluefin was considered a humble food. But as Japan's economy flourished, so did the demand for this luxurious cut, elevating it to legendary status. Today, it melts in the mouth, a decadent experience sought after by gourmands and connoisseurs, a symbol of status and refinement. This insatiable demand has created an astonishing global market where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye. A single exceptional fish can command a price that rivals that of a luxury car or even a small house, a testament to its economic impact. This incredible value sets in motion a complex and highly coordinated chain of events, a race against time that involves fishermen, logistics experts, auctioneers and master chefs, all dedicated to one goal: delivering this ruby of the sea in its most perfect form. The journey begins far from the neon-lit streets of Tokyo, in the warm, sun-drenched waters off the coast of Hawaii, where the tradition of tuna fishing has been passed down through generations of men. Here, fishing vessels venture out into the seemingly endless ocean. Their crews, hardened by experience, prepared for weeks at sea, braving storms and uncertainty. They are hunters on a vast and unpredictable frontier, seeking a treasure that is both elusive and powerful, a pursuit that has shaped the identity of coastal communities for centuries. The stakes are incredibly high, not just for the fishermen whose livelihoods depend on a successful catch, but for the very future of the species itself, as overfishing threatens to tip the balance. The global appetite for bluefin tuna has pushed its populations to a critical point, making every part of its journey fraught with significance and responsibility. As we follow one of these magnificent fish, we witness a process of extraordinary precision and care, where every detail matters. From the moment it is pulled from the water to the instant it is served as a delicate piece of sushi, every step is meticulously managed, a testament to the discipline and skill of those involved. This is a narrative of contrast. The raw physical struggle on the high seas gives way to the sterile, technologically advanced world of cold storage and air freight, where speed and precision are paramount. The boisterous energy of a pre-dawn fish auction, where men shout bids in a centuries-old ritual, culminates in the quiet, focused artistry of a sushi master, whose hands transform the tuna into edible art. It is a journey that reveals as much about human culture and commerce as it does about the remarkable life of the bluefin tuna, a fish that has become a mirror for our desires, our ingenuity, and our impact on the natural world. The hunt for the bluefin tuna begins under the vast Hawaiian sky, where the ocean stretches endlessly and the air is thick with anticipation. Out here, every journey is a test of endurance, skill and resolve. Fishing boats, their hulls scarred by years of salt and storms, depart from the bustling port of Honolulu. Each vessel is manned by crews who have spent much of their lives at sea, men whose faces are etched with the stories of past battles and hard-won triumphs. They leave behind the comfort of land, venturing into the deep Pacific for weeks at a time. The horizon blurs, and the only constants are the rolling swells and the ever-changing moods of the ocean. Their primary weapon is the long line, a method that demands both precision and patience. Each crew member has a role, from preparing the gear to ensuring every knot is secure, every hook razor-sharp. This is not a simple rod and reel. The long line is a marvel of engineering, designed to cover vast distances and maximize the chances of a successful catch. A single line can stretch for 40 miles, braving the unpredictable currents and the immense pressure of the open sea. Setting it requires careful calculation. Wind, tide, and even the phase of the moon are considered. From this main line, thousands of shorter lines descend, each armed with a baited hook. The choice of bait is crucial: squid, mackerel or sardines, depending on the season and the target species. The hooks form a curtain of opportunity, invisible in the deep blue, waiting for a passing giant. Deploying the gear is a dance of discipline and teamwork. Each man knows his place, moving in rhythm as the line is fed into the sea. Mistakes can be costly: tangled lines, lost hooks, or worse, injuries from the heavy, swinging gear. The crew works in unison, baiting and setting each hook with practiced hands. For some, this is a family tradition, passed down from father to son, each generation adding its own hard-earned wisdom. Their quarry is the bluefin, but yellowfin and other prize species are also sought. These fish are not only valuable, they are legendary for their strength and cunning, able to sense danger and evade even the most experienced crews. Once set, the long line drifts with the currents, a silent hunter in the tuna's domain. The ocean here is unpredictable. Storms can rise without warning, and the currents can carry the gear miles from its intended path. The waiting begins. For hours, sometimes days, the crew keeps watch, scanning the horizon for signs: a sudden flock of birds, a ripple on the water, or the telltale tug on the line. Each man has his own rituals for luck, from a favourite cap to a silent prayer. When a strike comes, it is sudden and electrifying. The calm is shattered as the line jerks and the crew springs into action, adrenaline surging as they prepare for the battle ahead. A bluefin can weigh over 600 pounds and is capable of explosive bursts of speed. The fish fights with every ounce of its strength, diving deep and twisting violently in an attempt to break free. The struggle is primal and exhausting. The men must work together, timing their efforts to the rhythm of the waves and the movements of the fish. The ocean itself becomes an adversary, with swells threatening to knock them off balance. The line strains under the weight, and the crew must use both brute strength and years of experience to bring the fish closer. Some recall near misses, lines snapping at the last moment, or a giant tuna lost to the depths after hours of struggle. The deck is slick and treacherous, pitching with every wave. One wrong step can mean injury or the loss of the catch. The men shout instructions, each movement deliberate and focused. When the fish is finally brought aboard, it is a moment of triumph. Exhausted but exhilarated, the crew knows that every scar and sore muscle is worth it for this victory. The climax of the battle is the final heave, as the massive bluefin is pulled alongside the boat. Every man is needed, their combined strength and coordination making the difference between success and failure. Teamwork is essential. The fish is carefully guided and hoisted onto the deck, its size and power a testament to the challenge just overcome. The sheer size of the bluefin is awe-inspiring. For some of the crew, it's the largest they've ever seen, a story to be told for years to come. Its body gleams in the sunlight, metallic blue and silver, a streamlined torpedo built for speed and survival in the vast Pacific. There is a brief moment to admire the catch, to share a word or a slap on the back. But the work is far from over. As soon as the fish leaves the water, a new race begins. The crew must work quickly to preserve the tuna's quality, knowing that every second counts in determining its value at market and its fate as a culinary masterpiece. Out here, every catch is a story of hardship strategy and the relentless pursuit of greatness on the open sea. The instant a bluefin tuna lands on the deck, the clock starts ticking. Every second counts in the preservation process, and the crew is trained to act with precision and speed. A relentless race against time begins, as every passing minute can affect the quality and therefore the value of the catch. The crew's first priority is to minimize stress and physical damage to the fish. The team immediately surrounds the tuna using specialized tools and techniques to ensure the fish is handled as gently as possible. This reduces bruising and preserves the integrity of the meat. The next step is to rapidly cool the fish's core temperature. Crew members use digital thermometers to monitor the internal temperature, aiming to bring it down as quickly as possible. If the cooling process is delayed, the vibrant ruby-red meat can darken and lose its prized color, a flaw that could reduce its market price by tens of thousands of dollars. Quality control begins immediately. Crew members inspect the tuna for any signs of damage or imperfection using bright lights to check the skin and flesh. The process is swift and methodical, with each crew member assigned a specific role to maximize efficiency and maintain strict hygiene standards. Within minutes, the tuna is humanely dispatched using a spike to the brain, a method known as ecogeme, which prevents lactic acid buildup and preserves meat quality. The fish is then skillfully gutted. Removing the internal organs is crucial. This step prevents the release of enzymes and bacteria that can accelerate decomposition and heat retention. The gutted fish is then thoroughly washed with cold seawater, removing blood and impurities that could affect flavor and shelf life. The next stage is the preparation of an ice slurry, a mixture of shaved ice and salt water. This creates a supercooled environment that chills the tuna evenly and rapidly. The tuna is carefully submerged in this ice slurry bath. The salt water prevents the fish from freezing solid, while the ice draws out residual heat from deep within the muscle. This step is essential for locking in freshness and preserving the delicate cellular structure of the meat. The crew monitors the temperature of the slurry and the fish, adjusting the ice and salt content as needed. Once the initial cooling is complete, the tuna is weighed using digital scales for accuracy. Each fish is then tagged with a unique identifier. This tag acts as a passport, documenting the tuna's origin, handling, and every step of its journey. All data is logged for traceability and quality assurance. The tuna is then transported into the ship's cold storage hold, a specially insulated room designed to maintain a constant temperature just below freezing. Advanced temperature monitors and alarms are installed to ensure the environment remains stable. Any fluctuation is immediately addressed by the crew. The cold storage hold acts as a floating vault, protecting the valuable catch from the tropical heat as the vessel continues its patrol of the Pacific. Throughout the voyage, the crew regularly checks the tuna, rotates the catch for even cooling, and logs every detail in digital and paper records for quality control. Meanwhile, fishing operations continue. Long lines are deployed and retrieved, and each new catch is processed with the same meticulous care. The cold storage gradually fills with these silver giants, each one representing a potential fortune if preserved perfectly. The crew knows that their hard work on deck is only half the battle. The true value of the catch is determined by their attention to detail in preservation and quality control. With every step, from the moment the tuna is landed to its careful packing for export, the crew's expertise and the technology on board ensure that each fish arrives at market in pristine condition, ready to become a prized delicacy on the other side of the world. When the fishing vessel finally returns to the port of Honolulu, its hold filled with its valuable catch, the journey of the tuna is far from over. In fact, the most critical phase is just beginning. The 4,000-mile cold chain that will carry these fish from the Pacific to the heart of Tokyo's bustling seafood markets. The moment the boat docks, a team of workers, each one trained to handle the precious cargo, springs into action. There is no time for delay, as every second counts in preserving the tuna's quality. A refrigerated truck, its cooling unit humming steadily, is already waiting on the pier. This vehicle is the first link in a meticulously managed cold chain. The tuna, still encased in thick layers of ice, are carefully lifted from the ship's hold and transferred directly into the truck. The process is swift and methodical, ensuring the fish remain at a constant frigid temperature. This seamless transition is a critical link in what is known as the cold chain, an unbroken line of refrigeration designed to maintain the fish's pristine condition from the moment it leaves the ocean until it reaches the market. Throughout this process, temperature is monitored with digital thermometers and sensors, ensuring the environment never rises above the optimal range, typically just above freezing. Any fluctuation, even a brief rise in temperature, could compromise the quality of the meat, causing the flesh to lose its prized colour and texture. Once loaded, the refrigerated truck speeds away from the port, weaving through the city's streets toward the airport. The cold chain must remain unbroken, with the truck's insulated walls and powerful cooling system working overtime to keep the tuna at the perfect temperature. At the airport, the tuna is quickly unloaded and brought into a secure cargo area, where it is prepared for the next stage, a transoceanic flight of over 4,000 miles. Each fish is expertly packed into a specially designed, insulated coffin-like box. These containers are engineered to maintain a stable, cold environment for the duration of the journey. Inside, the tuna are surrounded by fresh ice or frozen gel packs, which help absorb any heat and keep the temperature consistently low. These insulated shipping containers are built to withstand the rigors of air travel, protecting the fish from temperature swings and physical shocks. Now the tuna are officially cargo, but they are handled with the care and urgency of a life-saving organ transplant. Every movement is deliberate, every transfer closely monitored, as the fish are rushed to the waiting aircraft. Their destination, Tokyo, the epicenter of the global tuna trade, where the world's most discerning buyers await. The tuna must arrive in a state of absolute perfection, with their color, texture and flavor preserved. The insulated boxes are loaded into the cavernous cargo hold of a Boeing 747 or a similar long-haul aircraft, where the temperature is carefully regulated. Tucked away beneath the feet of unsuspecting passengers, these frozen torpedoes embark on a transoceanic flight. The cargo bay is pressurized and temperature-controlled, providing the ideal conditions for this high-speed leg of their journey. Throughout the flight, crew members periodically check the temperature in the cargo hold, ensuring the cold chain remains unbroken. In just a matter of hours, the tuna will cross a distance that took the fishing boat weeks to patrol, shrinking the vast Pacific into a single, seamless link in the global supply chain. This remarkable combination of traditional fishing methods and cutting-edge aviation technology is what makes the global tuna trade possible, connecting the remote waters of the mid-Pacific to the heart of urban Japan. The cold chain is the invisible thread that links these distant worlds, ensuring the tuna's journey is swift and safe. Upon landing at Tokyo's Narita or Haneda Airport, the process begins anew, but in reverse. The insulated containers are swiftly unloaded from the aircraft and transferred to another fleet of refrigerated trucks, each one ready to maintain the cold chain. The unloading process is precise and synchronized, with every worker focused on keeping the tuna at the correct temperature. The tuna are quickly loaded into refrigerated trucks, which immediately depart for specialized cold storage facilities scattered throughout Tokyo. Even in the dead of night, the cold chain never sleeps. The trucks move swiftly through the city, their precious cargo protected from the summer heat or winter chill. Upon arrival, the tuna are whisked into advanced cold storage warehouses, facilities designed for one purpose: to keep the fish in perfect condition until the moment of sale. These are not ordinary freezers. They are high-tech environments, equipped with powerful refrigeration systems and constant temperature monitoring. Inside, the temperature is held at a punishingly cold -60 degrees Celsius, cold enough to halt nearly all biological activity. This deep freeze is essential for long-term storage, ensuring the tuna's freshness is locked in until it is ready for auction. At these temperatures, the tuna's colour, texture and flavour are preserved, ready to impress the world's top sushi chefs and buyers. From the moment it leaves the ocean to its final display at auction, the 4,000-mile cold chain is the silent guardian of the tuna's journey, ensuring that only the very best reaches the market. In the pre-dawn darkness of Tokyo, while most of the city still sleeps, the Toyosu fish market is already a hive of activity. Here the day begins long before sunrise, echoing a rhythm that has pulsed through generations of Japanese fish markets. This is the modern successor to the legendary Tsukiji market, a sprawling, state-of-the-art facility that serves as the nerve center of Japan's seafood industry. Yet beneath its gleaming surfaces, centuries-old traditions still shape every transaction. It is here, in a vast climate-controlled hall, that the bluefin tuna arrive for the most crucial moment of their journey so far. The anticipation is palpable, as the market prepares for a ritual that has defined the commerce of the sea for generations. Forklifts zip across the wet concrete floors, carefully arranging hundreds of giant frozen tuna in neat rows. Each fish is positioned with precision, a silent nod to the discipline and order that underpin the market's operations. Each fish lies like a fallen titan, its tail cut to reveal a small window into the quality of the meat within. This simple act, cutting the tail, has been practiced for decades, allowing buyers to judge the hidden value of each catch. The atmosphere is one of focused anticipation. The air is thick with unspoken competition as buyers prepare for the high-stakes auction that will soon begin. This is a place of business, but it is also steeped in tradition. The market is a living bridge between the past and present, where ancient customs meet modern commerce. Before the main event begins, the buyers, men who have spent their entire lives in the fish trade, move silently among the rows. Their movements are deliberate, almost ritualistic, as they prepare for the auction. They are wholesalers, restaurant owners and brokers known as. With small flashlights and sharp hooks, they meticulously inspect each fish. This inspection is a time-honoured tradition passed down from master to apprentice, and is as much about intuition as it is about skill. They peer at the cross-section of the tail, judging the colour, clarity and fat content of the flesh. These details can mean the difference between a record-breaking sale and a disappointing loss. A bright ruby red colour and intricate marbling of fat are the signs of a top-quality specimen. The most prized tuna can fetch astronomical prices, a testament to the reverence for quality in Japanese cuisine. The buyer's examination is a subtle art, a skill honed over decades of experience. Some of these men can trace their lineage in the trade-back generations, inheriting not just a business but a way of life. They feel the texture of the meat with a practiced finger, assessing its oiliness. This tactile test is a tradition that dates back to the earliest days of the market, when buyers relied on their senses rather than technology. They might even take a tiny sample to smell, searching for the clean, fresh scent of the ocean. This ritual, too, is steeped in history, a sensory link to the sea itself. They are looking for the perfect balance, the fish that will yield the most desirable cuts of the fattiest belly, medium fatty belly, and lean red meat. Each buyer is mentally calculating the potential yield and value of each fish, preparing their strategy for the intense auction that is about to unfold. Some buyers employ secret codes and hand signals, a tradition that dates back to the days of tsukiji, when deals were struck in hushed tones and subtle gestures. This pre-auction ritual is a quiet, almost reverent process. The silence is broken only by the soft shuffle of boots and the occasional murmur of a seasoned buyer sharing a tip with a trusted colleague. The sheer scale of the operation is staggering. Hundreds of tuna, each representing a small fortune, are arrayed beneath the market's bright lights. The sight of these magnificent ocean predators laid out under the fluorescent lights is both impressive and, well, sobering. It is a reminder of the ocean's bounty and its limits. It represents the culmination of immense effort from fishermen thousands of miles away and a logistical chain of incredible complexity. The journey from ocean to auction block is a feat of coordination, tradition, and trust. The fate of each fish and the price it will command now rests in the hands of these expert eyes and the frenetic bidding that will soon erupt in this grand theatre of commerce. As the auctioneer's bell rings, a tradition carried over from the old Tsukiji market, the buyers spring into action, their bids a flurry of signals and shouts. In these moments, history and commerce collide, and the ancient ritual of the tuna auction lives on, shaping the future of the world's most prized fish. Section 6. The Art of the Auction, a symphony of hand signals and high stakes. As the first hints of dawn appear over Tokyo Bay, a sharp bell rings through the cavernous hall of the Toyosu market, signalling the start of the tuna auction. The quiet inspection gives way to a sudden, intense burst of energy. An auctioneer, standing on a small stool, begins a rhythmic, high-speed chant that is incomprehensible to the untrained ear. It is a rapid-fire staccato of numbers and codes, a unique language of the market that has been passed down through generations of male auctioneers and buyers. The buyers, all men who were just moments ago silently inspecting the fish, now gather in a tight group, their eyes fixed on the auctioneer. The bidding itself is a masterclass in subtlety and speed, relying on a sophisticated system of hand signals known as teshuda. There is no shouting of prices. Instead, the buyers use a complex and discreet system of hand signals, a tradition that traces its roots back to the earliest days of Japanese fish markets. These signals, developed to maintain secrecy and efficiency, allow buyers to communicate bids without revealing their intentions to competitors. A flick of the wrist, a raised finger, or a subtle nod can represent a bid worth thousands of dollars. Each gesture is carefully coded. Sometimes a single finger indicates a specific increment, while a combination of hand shapes and movements can signal larger amounts. Each gesture is a move in a high-stakes game of strategy and nerve, where reading an opponent's body language can mean the difference between winning and losing a prized fish. The auctioneer's eyes dart across the crowd, acknowledging each bid with a shout as the price for a single tuna climbs at a dizzying rate. For a prime bluefin weighing over 200 kilograms, the price can quickly soar into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Winning the first and best tuna of the New Year's auction is a particularly significant event. It is a matter of immense prestige and a powerful marketing tool for the successful buyer, often a high-end sushi restaurant chain whose male owner may pose proudly with the winning fish. These symbolic auctions can see prices reach astronomical levels. In 2019, a single bluefin tuna was sold for a record-breaking $3.1 million, making it the most expensive fish in history. While such prices are outliers, they highlight the incredible cultural and commercial value placed on this fish. For the winning bidder, the purchase is an investment in their brand's reputation for quality and excellence. The auction for each fish lasts only a matter of seconds. Once the final bid is accepted with a sharp clap, the auctioneer immediately moves to the next fish in the row, and the entire process begins again. The winning bidder's assistant quickly tags the fish and prepares it for transport. The pace is relentless, a whirlwind of commerce that sees hundreds of tuna sold in a short period. Within hours, the hall that was filled with frozen giants will be empty, as each fish continues on the final leg of its journey from the auction block to the restaurant. Section 7. The Master's Touch. From prized fish to culinary jewel. Within hours of the auction's conclusion, the prized bluefin tuna arrives at its final destination, the kitchen of a high-end restaurant in districts like Ginza or Shinjuku. Here, the fish is entrusted to the hands of a master sushi chef, a craftsman whose reputation is built on precision and respect for tradition. The chef begins by carefully inspecting the tuna, evaluating its colour, marbling and firmness. This grading process is crucial, as it determines which parts of the fish will be used for different preparations and which will command the highest prices. The fish, which has been meticulously thawed from its deep-frozen state, is now ready for the final stage of its transformation. The chef checks the temperature and texture, ensuring the flesh is supple and at its peak. Using a specialized knife, a long, slender blade called a maguro bocho, the chef begins the butchery process. This knife, often as long as a sword, allows for smooth, single strokes that preserve the integrity of the delicate flesh. Each cut is a display of immense skill and reverence for the ingredient. The chef separates the tuna into distinct sections, each with its own texture and flavour profile, using practiced movements honed over years of apprenticeship. The chef expertly divides the tuna into its primary sections, the akami, chutoro and otoro. The lean, deep red meat from the back, known as akami, is prized for its pure, clean flavour and is often used for sashimi or nigiri. The more valuable sections come from the belly. The chutoro, or medium fatty belly, offers a perfect balance of richness and texture, with marbling that melts on the tongue. But the ultimate prize is the otoro, the fattiest part of the belly located near the head. This cut is so marbled with fat that it appears pale pink, almost translucent. Its texture is incredibly soft and buttery, dissolving instantly in the mouth. In exclusive restaurants, a single piece of otoro nigiri can command prices upwards of $50. The preparation of the tuna into sushi or sashimi is an art form, defined by its simplicity and discipline. The chef uses only the sharpest knives, making clean, even slices that highlight the natural grain of the fish. Each piece is cut to the ideal thickness, maximizing the flavor and mouthfeel of the tuna. Presentation is paramount. The chef inspects each slice, arranging it with tweezers for aesthetic perfection. The rice is hand-pressed with just the right amount of pressure, ensuring it holds together but remains airy. The master chef's goal is not to mask the flavor of the fish, but to enhance its natural perfection. A sliver of tuna is placed atop a small hand-pressed mound of seasoned sushi rice. The chef might add a tiny dab of freshly grated wasabi between the fish and rice and a light brush of soy sauce over the top, careful not to overpower the delicate flavors. The resulting piece of sushi is more than just food. It is a carefully constructed balance of temperature, texture and flavor designed to deliver a single perfect bite. For the diner, this is the culmination of the tuna's long and arduous journey. That one piece of sushi represents the struggle of the fishermen in the Pacific, the precision of the global cold chain, and the intense drama of the Toyosu auction. It is a moment of sensory delight that connects the diner directly to the vastness of the ocean. The master chef's role is that of the final custodian, the artist who takes this precious raw material and, with a few deft movements, transforms it into a culinary jewel. Every step, from grading to slicing to presentation, honours the life of the fish and the efforts of all who brought it to the plate. Section 8. A cultural icon, the soul of Japanese cuisine. In Japan, tuna, known as maguro, is far more than just a popular fish. It is a living symbol woven into the very fabric of Japanese culinary tradition. Tuna holds a profound and revered place in the nation's culinary and cultural identity, uniting generations at the table. It is often described as the king of sushi, the essential ingredient that defines the entire cuisine. The appreciation for tuna, especially the prized fatty otoro, is deeply embedded in the Japanese palate and represents a source of national pride. For many, the act of savouring tuna is a ritual, one that honours the fish, the chef, and the centuries-old philosophy of Japanese cooking. To enjoy high-quality maguro is to partake in a tradition that celebrates freshness, seasonality, and the subtle beauty of natural flavours. The philosophy of Japanese cuisine, or washoku, is rooted in harmony, between ingredients, between chef and guest, and between the meal and the changing seasons. Tuna connects modern diners to a rich history of seafood appreciation, where every cut and every bite is a tribute to the ocean's bounty. The cultural significance of tuna is visible in many aspects of Japanese life, from public art to education. The New Year's auction at the Toyosu market is a major national news event, with the record-breaking prices for the first tuna of the year making headlines across the country. This is not just about commerce. It is a symbolic ritual that sets the tone for the year ahead, celebrating prosperity and the enduring strength of Japan's culinary traditions. The chefs who master the art of preparing tuna are regarded as esteemed artisans, their skills honed over a lifetime of dedicated practice. Their restaurants become destinations for pilgrims of gastronomy, where the ritual of eating tuna is elevated to an art form. This reverence for tuna is not confined to Japan. As Japanese cuisine has gained international acclaim, maguro has become a global symbol of luxury and sophistication. It is a star ingredient in Michelin-starred restaurants from New York to Paris, and a prestigious offering at important state banquets and exclusive events worldwide. Its presence on a menu signals a commitment to quality and an understanding of fine dining. The journey of the word maguro, from a specialist term in a Tokyo fish market to a universally recognized word for culinary indulgence, speaks volumes about its global ascent. However, this deep cultural attachment and soaring global demand have come at a great cost. The very passion that elevates the bluefin tuna to the status of an icon is the same force that threatens its existence. The fish has become a victim of its own popularity. Its cultural importance is now intertwined with a pressing conservation crisis, forcing a difficult and uncomfortable conversation within Japan and around the world. The story of tuna is no longer just about cuisine. It's about the complex relationship between human desire, cultural identity, and the fragile ecosystems that sustain us. In the soul of Japanese cuisine, tuna is both a treasure and a responsibility, a reminder that true reverence for tradition must also honour the future. Section 9. A precarious future. Balancing luxury and conservation. The immense global demand for bluefin tuna has pushed the species to a perilous brink, as the allure of luxury dining continues to fuel the market. Decades of overexploitation, driven by the fish's high commercial value, have led to a severe decline in its wild populations. The pursuit of profit and prestige has often overshadowed the need for restraint. Scientists have warned that several bluefin stocks are at risk of collapse, a stark reminder of the consequences of our voracious appetite. The challenge is to find a way to enjoy this delicacy without driving it to extinction. The very industry that celebrates the tuna as a luxury good is now facing the reality that this treasure of the ocean may disappear if consumption continues unchecked. The question becomes, can luxury coexist with conservation? The future of this magnificent creature hangs precariously in the balance, caught between the forces of tradition, commerce, and environmental responsibility. In response to this growing crisis, international conservation bodies have stepped in, recognizing that only coordinated global action can safeguard the bluefin's future. Organizations have implemented strict quotas, limiting the total number of tuna that can be caught each year. These regulations are designed to give wild populations a chance to recover. Fishing seasons have been shortened and specific spawning grounds have been designated as protected areas to allow the species a chance to reproduce. These measures are essential, but enforcement remains a challenge. These measures are a crucial first step, but they are often difficult to enforce across the vastness of the open ocean and are subject to intense political and economic pressures. Some nations resist quotas, fearing economic loss, while others push for even stricter controls. The battle to save the bluefin is being fought not only at sea, but also in conference rooms and government halls, where the future of the species is debated and decided. Alongside regulatory efforts, there is a growing movement towards aquaculture as a potential solution. Tuna farming offers a way to meet demand without further depleting wild stocks. In Japan, Europe and other parts of the world, scientists and entrepreneurs are developing massive tuna farms. These operations are complex and require significant investment and expertise. These operations typically raise young, wild-caught tuna in large, open-sea cages, feeding them until they reach market size. While this reduces pressure on wild adults, it still relies on capturing juveniles from the wild. Some are even making progress in breeding tuna in captivity, a significant scientific breakthrough that could one day reduce the pressure on wild stocks. However, the process is complex and not yet widely adopted. However, these efforts are still in their early stages and face challenges, including the large amount of feed required to raise carnivorous fish. Sourcing sustainable feed and minimizing environmental impact remain major hurdles. For now, aquaculture remains a small drop in the ocean compared to global demand. Scaling up sustainably will require innovation and international cooperation. Ultimately, the future of the bluefin tuna requires a profound shift in our relationship with the oceans. It demands that we see ourselves as stewards, not just consumers. It calls for a difficult balance between enjoying a luxury cuisine and ensuring the conservation of the species that provides it. Sustainability certifications, traceability and consumer education are all part of the solution. This is a choice that rests not only with fishermen and politicians, but also with chefs and consumers. Each decision, from the fishing boat to the dinner plate, shapes the fate of the bluefin. Can we temper our desires and find a way to appreciate this remarkable animal without loving it to extinction? The answer will define the legacy we leave for future generations. The journey of the bluefin tuna from the deep Pacific to the sushi bar has become a powerful story about the choices we must make to protect the natural wonders of our planet for generations to come. The balance between luxury and conservation is delicate, but with commitment and innovation, a sustainable future is possible. Beneath the surface of the world's oceans swims a diverse family of giants, each with its own story, habitat and value in the global marketplace. While the bluefin tuna commands headlines and record prices, it is just one member of a remarkable lineage. To truly understand the world of tuna, we must explore the unique qualities of its different species and how each plays a distinct role in both ecology and commerce. The Atlantic bluefin, the largest and most coveted, reigns supreme in the luxury sushi market. Prized for its deep red flesh, rich marbling and size, sometimes exceeding 1,000 pounds, it is found in both the western and eastern Atlantic, as well as the Mediterranean Sea. Its migratory journeys span thousands of miles, and its scarcity only amplifies its value at auction. The Pacific bluefin, slightly smaller yet still formidable, is a favourite in Japanese cuisine. It migrates between the waters off Japan and the Californian coast. Its high fat content and delicate texture make it especially prized for sashimi. As stocks have declined, its price has risen, making it nearly as valuable as its Atlantic relative. The southern bluefin, roaming the temperate waters of the southern hemisphere, is less visible but no less important. Australia, New Zealand and South Africa are key fishing grounds. It is highly valued in Japanese markets, though overfishing has left its populations vulnerable. Not all tuna are bluefin. The yellowfin tuna, sleek, fast and instantly recognizable by its vibrant fins, thrives in tropical and subtropical oceans worldwide. While less fatty than bluefin, its firm, mild flesh is a staple for sushi, sashimi and grilling. It is more abundant, making it a cornerstone of both artisanal and industrial fisheries. Big-eye tuna, with its large, expressive eyes and deep-running habits, is another essential species. It is favoured for its high oil content and versatility in both raw and cooked dishes. However, like many of its relatives, Big-Eye faces pressure from international fleets, especially in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. Albacore, known as white tuna in the trade, is smaller and found in temperate waters. Its pale flesh and mild flavour make it a favourite for canned tuna, but it also commands respect in Mediterranean and American seafood markets. Skipjack tuna, the smallest and most prolific, is the backbone of the global canned tuna industry. Found in vast schools in warm waters, skipjack is fast-growing and resilient, though sustainable management remains vital as demand continues to climb. Each species dwells in its own ecological niche, some roaming open oceans, others preferring coastal shallows or deep, cool currents. Their life cycles are as diverse as their habitats, with some spawning in specific seas and others traversing entire oceans to complete their journeys. In the world's markets, their value is shaped by size, fat content and cultural preference. Auctions in Tokyo may see bluefin fetch astronomical sums, while yellowfin and skipjack move in bulk to feed millions. The fate of each species is intertwined with global trade, fishing technology, and the choices of chefs and consumers. By understanding the unique qualities and roles of each tuna species, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity and fragility of their existence. The story of tuna is not just about a single fish, but about an entire family whose fate is bound to the health of our oceans and the responsibility we all share. Beneath the rolling waves, a silent drama unfolds. A journey measured not in miles but in lifetimes. Tuna are among the ocean's greatest travellers, crossing entire ocean basins in search of food, optimal temperatures and spawning grounds. Understanding these epic migrations is both a scientific challenge and a commercial imperative. For decades, researchers have sought to unravel the mysteries of tuna movement. Today, satellite tagging stands at the forefront of this quest. Scientists carefully attach small, sophisticated devices to the dorsal fins of wild tuna. These tags record depth, temperature and precise location, transmitting data back to orbiting satellites whenever the fish surfaces. Through these digital breadcrumbs, researchers map the secret highways of the sea. The data reveal astonishing feats. Atlantic bluefin tuna, for example, can traverse from the Gulf of Mexico to the Mediterranean in a matter of months. Pacific bluefin routinely cross from Japan to California, braving vast predator-filled expanses. Even smaller tuna species embark on seasonal journeys, following shifting ocean currents and the subtle cues of water temperature. But these migrations are more than a scientific curiosity. They shape the global tuna market in profound ways. When bluefin gather to spawn in specific regions, fleets from around the world converge, triggering intense competition and soaring prices. A sudden shift in migration routes caused by changing ocean temperatures or currents can mean boom or bust for entire fishing communities. Tracking technology also helps enforce international regulations. By knowing where tuna travel, authorities can better protect spawning grounds and set catch limits, aiming to prevent overfishing and allow stocks to recover. In turn, this science-driven management brings stability to the market, ensuring that prized tuna remains available for future generations. The Odyssey of tuna migration connects distant oceans and cultures, linking the fate of fishermen, scientists and sushi lovers around the globe. As we follow these remarkable fish on their journeys, we uncover not just the secrets of their survival, but the blueprint for a more sustainable future. As the world's appetite for tuna continues to grow, so too does the need for smarter, more sustainable ways to harvest this remarkable fish. Enter a new era, where tradition meets technology on the high seas. Modern tuna fishing fleets now harness an array of cutting-edge tools. Advanced sonar systems scan the depths, pinpointing schools of tuna with remarkable accuracy, reducing the need for wasteful searching. Drones and satellite imagery provide real-time updates on ocean conditions and fish movements, helping captains plot efficient, targeted routes that minimize fuel use and environmental impact. But innovation isn't just about catching more, it's about catching better. Selective fishing gear, like circle hooks and specialized nets, drastically reduce bycatch, ensuring that only the intended species are brought aboard. In some fisheries, electronic monitoring systems, cameras and sensors mounted on vessels record every haul, providing verifiable data on catches and helping authorities enforce sustainable quotas. On the docks, digital traceability platforms are transforming the supply chain. Each tuna can now be tracked from the moment it's landed to its final destination, allowing buyers and consumers to verify its origin and the methods used to catch it. Blockchain technology is even being piloted in some regions, promising unprecedented transparency and trust in the global tuna trade. Looking ahead, the future of tuna fishing may rest in the balance between wild harvests and aquaculture. Pioneering researchers are developing closed-cycle bluefin tuna farms, where every stage from egg to adult takes place in controlled conditions, reducing pressure on wild populations and offering a sustainable alternative for high-end markets. Through these innovations, the industry is finding new ways to protect both the ocean and its bounty. The next chapter in the story of tuna is being written today by engineers, scientists and fishermen working together to ensure that this billion-dollar delicacy endures for generations to come. The story of tuna extends far beyond the ocean's edge. It's a tale told in numbers, of fortunes made and livelihoods shaped by the ebb and flow of the global market. Every year, billions of dollars exchange hands as tuna moves from fishing ports to auction floors, from wholesale markets to high-end restaurants. The price of a single bluefin can soar to astronomical heights, especially at Japan's famous New Year auctions, where record-breaking bids make headlines around the world. Yet behind these headline figures lies a market in constant motion. Tuna prices are driven by a complex web of factors. Demand in major cities like Tokyo, New York and Paris can send prices skyrocketing overnight. The quality of each catch, its size, fat content and freshness determines its value, with premium specimens commanding small fortunes. But the market is also highly sensitive to fluctuations in supply. A strong fishing season or new quotas can flood the market, causing prices to dip. Conversely, bad weather, stricter regulations or geopolitical tensions can tighten supply, pushing prices ever higher. For many port towns and fishing communities, tuna is more than a commodity. It's the lifeblood of local economies. Generations of fishermen rely on the seasonal bounty, while processors, traders and transporters depend on the trade to sustain their businesses. When prices soar, prosperity follows: new boats, better equipment and thriving local shops. But when the market falters, the impact ripples outward. Jobs can be lost, and communities face hard choices about their future. In today's interconnected world, the economics of tuna are linked to broader trends: shifts in consumer taste, changes in international trade policy, and growing awareness of sustainability. As the industry adapts, so too do the communities at its heart, finding new ways to balance tradition, innovation, and the unpredictable tides of the global market. The journey of tuna is one of risk and reward, where every catch, every sale, and every meal is part of a much larger story. It's a story that continues to shape lives, economies, and the future of the ocean itself. Tuna's journey from the deep blue sea to the dinner plate is a testament to its universal appeal and versatility. Across continents, it graces tables in myriad forms, reflecting diverse culinary traditions and cultural preferences. In Japan, tuna is celebrated as a symbol of purity and craftsmanship. Sushi chefs, trained for years, transform fresh cuts into delicate nigiri and sashimi, where the fish's natural flavors are revered and unadulterated. The highest quality tuna, or maguro, commands respect and reverence, often culminating in the prized otoro, the fatty belly portion that melts in the mouth. But the allure of tuna extends far beyond Japan's shores. In the Mediterranean, particularly in Italy and Spain, tuna is a staple of coastal cuisine. Here it's often grilled or preserved in olive oil, enhancing its rich, meaty texture. Traditional dishes like tonno alla griglia and mamitake showcase tuna's ability to absorb and complement bold flavors of herbs, spices and vegetables. Meanwhile, in the Americas, tuna takes on a new identity. In regions like Hawaii, it's central to poke, a popular dish where raw cubed tuna is marinated with soy sauce, sesame oil and onions. This reflects the island's melting pot of Asian and Polynesian influences. In the United States, seared tuna steaks and tuna tartare have become mainstays in upscale dining, emphasizing fresh, high-quality cuts with innovative presentations. As global trade connects cultures, fusion cuisines emerge, blending traditional techniques with modern twists. In cities like New York, London and Sydney, chefs experiment with tuna in ways that defy conventional boundaries. You might find tuna tacos with a hint of wasabi, or tuna ceviche with a dash of yuzu, each dish a testament to culinary creativity. The influence of international cuisine on tuna consumption is also evident in the rise of sustainable sourcing practices. As consumers become more aware of overfishing and environmental impact, there's a growing demand for responsibly caught tuna. Organizations and certification programs work tirelessly to ensure that the tuna on your plate is not only delicious but also ethically sourced. In this global tapestry, tuna is more than just a fish. It's a cultural bridge, connecting people through shared tastes and traditions. Whether enjoyed raw, cooked or preserved, its journey from ocean to table is a story of culinary evolution, one that continues to adapt and thrive in a world of ever-changing palates.